So before I go any further, I do actually want to get these engine components onto the professional table because I don't want to get too far with cleaning, rebuilding, and then find out that I actually need some components for the engine. Now I'm going to be looking for scores, marks, anything, any anomalies. I mean, I'm not the best with engines, as you probably know. So this video is going to be mostly about the engine. Just get it on the table and just have a good in-depth look at the engine and see if there's any components I need to then rebuild the engine. We do have the gasket set. I know we do probably need piston rings and things like that, and to measure some bores and stuff, like the professionals do, which I'm a professional. So I'll do that as well. We can obviously just look at the engine and yeah. So the crankshaft actually seems in good condition. I can't see any scores. These lines that you can see down the center of each one of these, that's from the actual sleeve that goes around here that helps it rotate. They're in the box as well. But apart from that, there's no real signs of wear and tear. There's no bends, there's no cracks, there's no So the head gasket, so you may have heard the saying, the head's gone, or the head gasket's gone. That's one of these. Now, obviously this goes between the head and the shoulders, and it actually prevents cross-contamination between different parts. Now, obviously you've got oil, water, etc. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So this we've got replacement for, but in all honesty, I did have to peel it off the engine. So this is what I was talking about. This is like a sleeve, and your crank actually rotates on 5 of these. Just needs a little bit of cleaning up, and then we can reuse these. But you've also got these, which are the end plates, so to speak. I think these came out the engine somewhere, and so the oil filter, the oil pan looks like an oil pan. I definitely didn't drop it when I took it off. So because this car was sat for 15 years, it seems as though there's a lot of crud in the bottom of the oil pan. Now, I don't think it's an issue. Right, just put that to the side. Now, these here, these are so these look in good condition, so we'll put them to the side. This is the underside of the rocker cover. Now, there's a lot of built up crud. Oh, nice. Okay. So this is actually an optional extra inside the engine. So I'm gonna actually put this back. So a good design of this table is it actually modifies itself to the items that are upon it. So this is actually the head itself. This is where the head gasket goes. This is where the head gasket goes. Now you can see remnants of head gasket on here. You can also see your valves here as well. Now this side of the engine, this actually has the camshaft in, so this is obviously your NZ camshaft, and this is what controls your valves going up and down and your timing and stuff. So when you're rebuilding an engine to this extent, it's always worth checking the head and possibly even getting it sent away to get it skimmed, depending on the condition of it. This car doesn't actually have that many miles, but we do need to check this and potentially send it away for skimming, just to make sure that there's no warping in the actual head itself. We've got the water pump. Now obviously this is powered by the engine. Now you've got a pulley on here which obviously turns this in here, and this circulates water around the engine. Now although it looks bad, I don't think it's that bad. You've obviously got your build-up of dried on coolant, but that's no real issue because you find this in most engines, to be fair, especially engines of this age. Right, so we've also got the manifold. The manifold looks in good condition actually, for its age, and there's no build-up of soot or anything in there, so this should clean up quite nicely. Engine mount, we do have a cracked engine mount, which we can repair this. Also got the throttle body as well, which looks in fairly decent condition. It seems to all work. We've got some nice juicy crudness. Quite a big build-up of stuff in here as well. That's obviously water, and that's just sat in there and decided to situate itself in powder form inside of this engine. So these, every single part that I mentioned today will be deep cleaned, and obviously we'll try and reuse as much of the original as possible, if we can. This was the gasket stroke heat shield for the manifold itself. So we do actually have a new one of these. Engine mount. So this engine mount is good. This one isn't cracked, whereas this one is. Right, unfortunately I lost all of the sound for taking these out, so all you can see is me taking pistons out, and that's all you can see. What I was trying to explain was these pistons look in good condition. Now you can see here, this is where the actual camshaft goes, and this has no scars on it. The pistons themselves have no scars on it. The piston rings, they rotate freely, and the top just has a little bit of carbon buildup, but everything moves freely. When you are removing pistons, you need to make sure you put the pistons back where they came from. Now obviously we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, these go in the respective holes here, so I'm going to mark these up just so I know exactly where they go, because you don't want to put the wrong piston in the wrong bore. You want to put it exactly back how it was. Obviously the side of the engine does need a nice clean up. A lot of people commented on the previous video saying you should have cleaned it before you took it apart, which is correct. I should have done, but I didn't have time because I was rushing, as always. You can see inside here, there's no scoring, there's no marks, there's no pitting, there's no nothing, which is fantastic news. That means we can reuse this block. And you can see the nice cobwebs. One other thing that I do want to mention is this here. Now of course, as always, this again needs cleaning up. So this is deposits from the actual water pump and the water lines as well. So basically it's just the coolant being sat in the engine for so long, and it's just left deposits in there and it's dried on and stuff like that. So that's no cause for concern. We are waiting for a couple of parts to rebuild this engine, and then we can really get stuck in and get everything cleaned and then hopefully get it back together. It's going to be finally good when we do turn the key and we actually get this Suzuki started. It's been a long time coming, and just like this outro, it's taken a long time. So with that being said, we'll catch you in the next one.